Alrighty, good morning everybody. Welcome to our first virtual business breakfast with special guest Robin with Virginia Tourism Corporation. I'm excited to have you guys here. We are recording this so that if you miss any of the key points or whatever, you'll have this. It'll be emailed out afterwards. As I mentioned, everyone is on mute right now. If you do have a question, you can use the chat feature at the bottom to type in your question. For those of you that are joining us via the telephone, I will open it for a brief moment at the end if you do want to ask a question, or you can follow up with an email. So without further ado, I want to go to Robin. I'm so grateful that Mamunes is willing to join us this morning. As you all know, we were supposed to have the Virginia Tourism Corporation here in Louisa doing a tour and finding out about all the awesome things in Louisa County. Well, this is the next best thing. We're still going to learn how Virginia Tourism Corporation is such a huge asset to helping us grow our businesses in this area. So Robin is a content marketing manager with Virginia Tourism, and I'm thrilled to hear everything that she's got to share with us this morning. So I'm going to mute and turn it over to you, Robin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you all for the opportunity. And if you want to blurt out a question, please feel free. As Tracy mentioned, I do handle the admin portion of virginia.org. And that is essentially the portal that you guys use to gain an account, which allows you access to log in and add your own content, which then appears on virginia.org. So I'm just going to kind of work through, we do have these orientations 4 times a year. All of that information is also posted on vatc.org. And I hope that you'll really use that website as a tremendous tool for you and your business. That's what we call our industry site. And it really gives you a great deal of information and ways that you can utilize us to support your business needs. Here on that first page of this presentation, this is the orientation presentation in our portion that we share typically. That admin.virginia.org is the actual portal that you log into to add your content. I hope this will work. You'll notice that the listings are free and they help you to gain exposure on our site. In 2019, there were 13 million page views. That's just a tremendous opportunity for you to gain exposure for your business at absolutely no cost. The categories that we offer are places to stay, meetings, weddings, dining, deals and packages, attractions, events, exhibits, tours, and itineraries. Here's an example of what one of those listings might look like on our site with good images, website opportunity. You have the opportunity to include your Facebook, Instagram, different channels, and down below you would give, I don't think it's gonna be interactive at this point, but you have a 200-word description. Now, this is the way the listing appears on virginia.org, the consumer website. But for you, when you log into that admin portal, I'm taking you back now to what that looks like. So you've logged into your portal and you've chosen, you're a hotel. So the category that you'll pick would be places to stay. You're going to give the various options and subcategories that apply to your property. And you'll give up to a 200-word description for your property. You'll be given the opportunity to upload up to 9 images, and those should be 1600 pixels wide by 800 pixels, 1600 wide by 800 tall, horizontal orientation. Again, up to 9 images can be added that will appear on your listing. You are given the opportunity to give up to 10 keywords. This is actually not a terrific example, I apologize. Keywords should in fact be words. More than 10 does not mean better because Google won't even grab it if you put too many. So it should be words followed by commas in between. So again, be sure those listings have really great images and they're accurate. Take advantage of all of the categories available. Search virginia.org to see what you look like, especially if you're new to your business. You might not even be aware that you're listed on our site, or some of your information may be outdated. If you're listed on the site and you don't have access to those listings, I can transfer them over to you. Back to the categories available. If you are say you're a property, you might also have meeting space. You might have you might offer weddings. So be sure that you have all listing categories covered. Every category is indeed considered a separate listing. Keep your listings updated. Where this happens most is, say you have an annual event, you know, the Louisa County Oyster Festival, but a new person comes along next year and they have no idea it's on the site, and they list it as 30th Annual Louisa Oyster Festival. Hopefully I'll catch that and I'll transfer the original one over to you so that folks, when they search for that Oyster Festival, they're not going to see this. Oops, we're sorry, it's expired. Update those annual events and reuse and recycle those listings year after year to ensure that those links stay active. Many of these listings, especially for festivals and large events, are attached to blogs and articles that appear on our site. So we want to ensure that the blogs and articles are relevant and active. And that's a #1 reason for updating that content annually and updating the expired listings. So just really the main reason for this call and for the admin system is to be sure that you're visible on our site. Again, if you've got a staff of 1 and a budget of none, this is the #1 thing you need to get your team involved with for this excellent free exposure. We use virginia.org as our #1 resource for content development. So when our blog lady, Patricia Keppel, is looking for really great things for her blog, she's going to use our database on virginia.org to look for great content. Here's an example of what a blog post or an article might look like. She might do a call out to the industry and say, hey, I'm looking for rooftop dining or small town charm or something, you know, regarding to whatever theme she might be looking for. And I will share her email with you guys because I know that she has her own private email list that she sends out to partners, and she'd love to have you guys included on that. And, you know, would love for you to take advantage of being on her list. We do also have an e-newsletter that goes out. We also have paid opportunities that you can take advantage of. Again, all of this is listed on vatc.org. So please sign up for that newsletter. We have the industry newsletter that goes out to you guys, and it'll kind of tell you all the hot topics and things that we're looking for and things that you can be involved in. But in addition to that, we've got the consumer newsletter, and that goes out 3 times a month and reaches 250,000 consumers. So if you've got your package on here, it's very likely that we could include your package on our consumer newsletter. And I've had so many properties tell me, especially B&Bs, that consumer newsletter has really helped to drive a lot of traffic to their door. So that's primarily what my role is, how the admin system works, allowing you to log in and add your content. And again, I think it'd be really great if you guys check out vatc.org. We have grant opportunities, advertising opportunities, communications opportunities, and you guys could probably get with other members of the team and build upon these calls. So Tracy, if you want to open up the floor to any of the questions that may have come in.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Robin. This is wonderful. Just for the benefit of the whole group, you know, this is really the initial overview of getting started. Some people, we have people at different levels in using virginia.org. And so this is the very basic beginning. You want to start with just getting listed. So I have a couple questions, Robin. Number one, I want to start with the question about, you talk about listings and you mention your venue or your property, right?
Yeah.
Some of the folks, for example, Tammy, who is on this call, she's a caterer, okay? So she doesn't necessarily have a venue that she is promoting, but she does a lot of catering for vacationers that come to our area. How would you suggest that she make a listing or posting on this particular portal?
My first question would be, do you have a storefront, Tammy?
No, she does not. She goes.
Okay, then I would think just strictly catering.
She's in-home personal catering to vacationers that come to the lake and rent these massive homes.
Gotcha. Okay, I would think then in that instance, you're going to list yourself as a service. Okay. And I'm in my back end, so this is very similar to what you guys will see when you get an account.
Oh, we can see that. Can you bump over?
Are you not seeing this? Sorry.
No, that's okay. Just switch your view so we can see the back office.
Okay.
Like
let's see. Your screen sharing is paused. Resume share. Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, bear with me.
It's okay.
It keeps saying it's paused.
Huh.
Let's see. Resume share.
Well, I still see, oh, now it definitely paused.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's try this. I'm saying share screen.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so I see what you see.
Yeah, okay, perfect. When you guys get your account, and first of all, let me go back to this, admin.virginia.org. That's where you're going to go. When you log in, you're going to see you'll fill in your portal with your name, your address, all of that. And then that will come to me and I will approve it. So after the approval process, this is very similar to what you will see. And Tammy, you'll see add a new listing right here. You're going to add a listing. Your organization is just who you are. So I'm the only one that sees that. You're going to put your listing name, Tammy's Fabulous Catering. You won't see this part.
Yep.
Yeah, Tammy's Fantabulous Catering. And then you're going to list yourself under service. And here's a little taste of what that might look like. Let me show you what some of those other listings look like. For example, okay, for example, these guys, they're event planners. They didn't give a whole lot of information here from this perspective, but I'm taking you in the back end as if you're adding this information. You put your street address. Now, the one thing that might be difficult here is you do have to give an address in order to list your business. If you're doing this out of your house, maybe you could be kind of vague, you know, with as far as the street address. This is kind of unique.
Right.
You know, I understand that. If you have a website, you can certainly include that. Over on the next details tab, you just follow the tabs. You're going to list yourself under catering, caterer, whatever applies to you here. And then you see the button down at the bottom, next step. You just keep following the prompts, give your description. One thing I kind of glossed over in my previous orientation notes, the summary should be a description of your business. So Tammy's Fantabulous Catering, offering business to the Louisa vacationers, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
That summary is actually what appears on Google if people stumble across this listing. So your 28-word maximum summary is, in a nutshell, what you are.
Great.
Your next tab over. Whoops, or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not wanting me to go now because there's no summary.
I think this is helpful, Robin. I think that that answered my question at least. And this is
and
just how
excellent. Then you just add your images. Be sure you check that box for that image agreement. It sounds a little bit lengthy, but it's basically just you guys agreeing that if we want to use your image in a blog or article, that's okay. And also that you have permission to use that image. We have had problems in the past where people have just grabbed images off of Google or whatever, and they might have not had the rights to those images. So just be super sure that you have the rights to those images before you share them. When you get to this last page, you're going to confirm and submit, and then it comes to me. And I'll approve or deny your listing. You're looking at my actual screen and what I see, your listings as they come in. So again, if you're a hotel, take advantage of every opportunity. You're a place to stay. You're a meeting facility. You're a wedding facility. You have deals and packages. So you've just created 4 listings on the site to make yourself to increase your presence on virginia.org.
That's great. That's a perfect segue. So just to clarify what you just said, if I list my business or venue and I check several categories, is that the one and only listing that I do, or do I have to create a separate listing for all the different services? So if I do weddings, I have to do a separate listing. If I do fine dining in restaurant, do I have to do a separate listing?
Yes, unfortunately, each listing category is separate. Now, there are categories within those categories, not to confuse you, but dining is separate. Places to stay is separate. Meetings,
Okay.
weddings. So,
So
we
just to
do have to,
clarify, Robin, I'm sorry, just to clarify that, let's use a real life example. We have a winery,
yes,
and that winery has a tasting room. That winery has a pavilion that you can rent for corporate events and functions. And they also offer the opportunity for you to do your wedding there. So are you saying that they would create 3 separate listings?
absolutely.
Okay.
And we're moving to a new advanced program, we hope, over the next year that will be much easier to use. But for now, that is correct.
Okay.
So for example, Barbersville Winery, their one main listing under the winery category is listed under attraction. So the first, they would choose themselves, first of all, as an attraction. Then when you go to the subcategory, you're going to pick winery, brewery, distillery. But then if Mediterranean Cellars has a restaurant, they're going to create listing number 2, Mediterranean Cellars dash dining, or Mediterranean Cellars Olive Restaurant, or whatever the name of their restaurant is.
Okay.
Because now that's going to show up under the dining category. If they've got wedding space, they're going to name yet listing number 3, Mediterranean Cellars dash weddings. The reason I'm saying this is no 2 listings on the site can have exactly the same name. And you'll get this error message that say, I'm sorry, the listing name is not unique. And that just tells you, I need to slightly change this name. But where that might be helpful is particularly with events. If you're new in your position and you're adding an annual event and you get that error message, this listing name is not unique, chances are it's already on the site and I can transfer it over to you. But to answer your question, yes, every listing is a separate listing under a new category, and that ensures you to show up in the various categories throughout the site.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and give you some of the questions that are coming in on the chat. So one
Perfect.
was, we have a big Lake Anna in our area, so we have a lot of homes that get rented. The question is, can a single house that rents weekly, offers weddings and corporate retreats, post in places to stay? So places like Airbnbs, can they post in places to stay or list as places to stay?
Absolutely. We have a lot of that. There has been a lot of conversation about the Airbnb, and I think our ruling on it right now is it's okay to list those. If you have another website that directs folks to your property, we prefer that you link your website, or say for reservations, call and put your number. But if the Airbnb link is all that you have, then that's fine. But absolutely, you've made lists that under places to stay.
Maria, I think that was your question. Any follow-up questions? Just unmute yourself, Marie, if that was you.
One of the questions that I have for that is, so say they just wanted to put it under places to stay, and they could put that they offer weddings and things like that in that listing. But if they didn't put a new listing under the weddings category, or say corporate retreats, I don't know what all of the categories are, but if somebody went in looking for wedding venues, it wouldn't show up then, would it, unless they did a separate listing?
That's right. Exactly,
Okay.
Marie.
Okay.
You see, as I'm pulling this Lazy K Blue Ridge Cabins up,
Mm-hmm.
The only way somebody's going to find, I mean, if they're looking for weddings, they're not going to be looking under places to stay from a consumer perspective.
Okay.
So here's a snapshot of the categories. See how this is under places to stay? So if they have weddings, by all means, put another one in for weddings. You know, Lazy K Blue Ridge Cabins - weddings. Because then if someone is on the site looking for weddings, you're going to be found.
That's great.
Oh, and let me, while I'm in here, guys, let me just mention this Sports Virginia category is for stakeholders and sports venues. So if you have a huge sports venue that holds tournaments and things of that nature, that is what this category is used for. Not to be confused with if you have a park or a go-kart business, you would actually be an attraction, and then the next category over, you would list yourself under outdoors and sports.
So in our case, Robin, with the lake, we would be outdoors and sports. We wouldn't be Sports Virginia, right?
Perfect. Yes, you would be
Okay.
an attraction, and the next category over, you would pick outdoors and sports.
Okay. So we had a couple of other questions. Floyd, I'm not sure if I don't state this correctly, just unmute yourself. But he was asking a question on if the chamber could link companies that provide a valuable service. So Robin, can you, I'm not even 100% sure if the Louisa Chamber has a listing on there or not. I think I created one, but is it possible if the chamber creates a listing that we can list multiple businesses or services on our site?
What kind of businesses are
Well,
you
the reason why I asked is like, we're not going to list our business there because we're power, right? we don't want you to come visiting the power plant. But there's only 8 people on our meeting here today. We have what, almost 300 members that are missing out. So I mean, Tracy, you know what services are out there. There's a lot of valuable services. Why isn't there just an automatic link up from your site to our site?
Great question, Floyd. So first of all, this is being recorded and I am going to post it to the Chamber YouTube channel and send it out via newsletter so that those folks that didn't get to see it can see the recording. But to your point directly, Robin, this is a question for you. If I listed or made a listing for the Chamber of Commerce, I see you've got a couple that just popped up, but I don't know that I have a specific Louisa County Chamber of Commerce listing, which I will.
I think, sorry there, Tracy, if you did, it would appear here. I don't see it.
Okay.
Are
Are those the only 2 chamber things that have the name Chambers on it throughout the area?
Yeah,
Okay.
for
So,
Louisa.
so I create the Louisa County Chamber of Commerce listing. Then on that page, can I I put in the description links back to our directory? Or would it be best for me to use, for example, the package and deals listing that you had? If I, for example, all of our chamber members that are lodging facilities, like bed and breakfast, if I were to do a listing on behalf of them, is that possible?
It is. Let me ask you, a lot of the chambers list themselves under Visitor Information Center. Is the
Yeah, I see
chamber
that.
a business where folks can walk in and ask for directions, grab a map, a guide? Is it that sort of a place, or is it more a business?
We're more of a resource for businesses. However, I do get hit with, I'll talk with my board about how we want to categorize ourselves. This is a great example that you show some of them as information centers. So I will go in there and create a chamber listing for sure and figure out categories. There was a follow-up question that kind of relates to this topic. Which is, can the chamber put together a travel package that includes services, places of its members? So that's kind of, so right now, a lot of our members are extremely overwhelmed and, you know, they're not taking full advantage of this listings. So can we, as the chamber, help them? So for example, if I know we've got a brewery, 2 wineries, and a cidery, can I make a listing as like a tour? Come visit the Spirits of Louisa and share like a description of, you know, do a tasting through the countryside kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is this you, Chamber 01?
Yes, I did that. Yep.
Okay, well then you did a great example, and all of you guys can do this. You could list. This is listed as an itinerary. We have single day and multiple day options.
Hey,
so you could,
whatever you popped up is just showing as like a black box. So. Yeah, that's just showing.
Can you see this now?
No, it's just showing as like a box. If you go back to the listing view, we could see that. Yeah, that we can see.
You can see that?
Yeah, but I think when you.
Can you see it now?
No, the preview's not showing.
I apologize for that. But to answer your question, as you guys can see, Tracy added this. This is another category, suggested itinerary. And you could think of multiple ways to sell the product and attractions throughout your region by adding these itineraries. You know,
I would think the preview wasn't working because of the video. Tracy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're recording and that probably blocked you from previewing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, so that is yet another category. If any of you guys do tours, as far as, you know, tour operators or tour businesses, you may list yourself under the category of tour. Also, I have some outdoor and sports folks that do tours, you know, kayaking tours or whatever, and they list themselves under tours. But yes, you can absolutely list all of the many happenings in your region under suggested itinerary. And
that's wonderful.
Tracy, I will get with you back to your question about the chamber listing.
Okay.
On Virginia.org. I know that we have a page of additional links, so I'm sure that there is a way that we can utilize those links or, you know, get the chamber on there and make that happen. Of course, the primary goal is to list travel and tourism related businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely our goal. And we have a lot of those businesses. There's another question that came in from Carol. Can we add videos to the listings?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there any special trick to that, or is that on that add an image section?
Are you guys still seeing my screen?
Yes, but it's, oh yeah, there you go.
Okay, this is the back end system. So just as if you're going to go in and you're creating, this is your listing, Tracy.
Right?
So if you have a video to share right there on that first page
Oh,
at the bottom,
yeah.
all of these additional links you can add. Your
Look at
tour,
that.
a booking link. Say you've got a promotional package that you're trying to sell or a concert ticket, you can put
Yes.
the link to that, your videos,
Awesome.
YouTube.
Maria, I saw your face light up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If I could see Carol's face, I know she's doing cartwheels right now. That's awesome.
Great.
Great, great, great. Okay, so there was another question. Floyd wants to know, can he get a free Virginia travel guide to download as a PDF? Is that possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that on
And
the,
if you go,
Yeah, I'm on your site now, and it just looks like I get to order a brochure.
there should be an opportunity for a downloadable guide. I'll send you that link.
perfect. Yeah, I'll shoot that out
What,
to everybody, Floyd. Great question.
Yeah, because the younger generation doesn't use books and maps. They put everything on their phone.
You know what? Actually,
Right.
what's interesting to that, Floyd, I have actually, in some of the grants that that we were submitting, I did actually find some research that does demonstrate there is a lot of young people that do pick up brochures and things. That's one of the reasons why rest areas and welcome centers do so well, because it's printed materials and things like that. So
Yeah,
it
well,
is still
with
happening.
me, I can share. I can put it in my OneNet or whatever it's called with Microsoft, and I can pull it up from my computer at any time and put it on my phone.
Absolutely.
I can just see the page and I can blow it up. And
Yep. Yeah.
right.
It was definitely awesome.
That is true. We still get a huge response for the guides. But if you could just send me your email, Floyd, I will send you that link.
okay.
Cool. All right. Well, does anybody else have any other questions or comments or anything that they want to? You can put it in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself. Go ahead, Julie.
Hey, thank you for coming. I had a question. Do you think we could do like, well, two things, a registration drive, so work with all of our memberships. How do we get more feature stories in your blog and in the guide about Louisa
Julie, you're going in and out. In fact, we lost you altogether.
County and Lake? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, two things: feature stories about Lake Anna and Louisa County, in any of your publication of blogs. And then, do you know anyone who's done kind of a registration drive? So
Julie, you popped off. When you say a registration drive.
to get our members to register on .org.
Oh, okay. A registration drive
Can you hear me?
for our businesses to register. Is that your question, Julie?
Yep. Yep. Yes.
All right, Robin, there you go.
Okay. I apologize. Yeah, Julie, I heard just bits and pieces of that.
So her
to,
first question, Robin, was how do we get Louisa and Lake Anna involved in more feature stories by Virginia.org?
okay, the biggest part in doing that would first of all get listed on the site, because the blog writer really uses Virginia.org as a resource when she is looking for content to write about. So if she stumbles across, say she's doing an article about, you know, lakes in Virginia, and you're not on there, there's no way for her to grab that information and use it. So definitely making your presence known on Virginia.org is critical. Again, Patricia Keppel is the blog writer. I highly encourage you to shoot her an email. Her email is pkeppel@virginia.org, Keppel. And also, I can't emphasize to you guys enough, please look at vatc.org. Every single department is listed on there, and every person that I've mentioned is listed on there. So you can use that as a reference to get in touch with Patricia or the people in communications or anything. But as far as the registration process, we rely on you, the industry, to sort of put your feelers out to your people, just like you're doing today, to say, hey, are you taking advantage of Virginia.org? We do offer our orientations 4 times a year, and that allows people to see what we do and how you can use us as a resource. So that's another opportunity. And again, just relying so much on the DMOs to spread the word, just the same way that you guys are doing, and just talking to your communities and talking to one another to say, hey, are you listed? Another takeaway from today is please visit Virginia.org to see what your presence looks like. If something's there that isn't, create your account, log in, add those fantastic events to be sure you're visible. If something is outdated and you need access to it, I can transfer it to you. I hope that answers some of your question, but really getting your assets robust on the site is the #1 way to ensure that you might be included in those blogs or articles.
Yeah, this is great, Robin. As a quick question following up to Julie's and your statement about to way to be featured more is by more listings. So we have several publications around the lake. Lake Anna Breeze is one of them. That's a monthly publication, and they have all kinds of stories and things like that they cover different businesses, they cover different attractions for the lake. Would it serve us well to reach out and make sure that they have a listing and that they are posting some of their articles, like instead of just doing it in print around Louisa and around the lake, if they started putting some of their articles as listings on this site as a way to attract people here? Is that something that is acceptable to do?
Absolutely. Now, when you say listings, are you talking about the happenings and the events going on?
So, for example, Lake Anna Breeze, they just did a story about Calliope's Orchard, which is this fabulous fine dining and venue that does weddings and events and things like that. And it was this really great article. So,
right.
and a Breeze put in their article as a listing about this business, just so it pops up and is, so that it may get picked up as part of a feature or something like that.
Well, what they would do in that case, the dining place themselves should list themselves under dining.
Right?
You say the word orchard is in that name, you say?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not listed on the site. So that restaurant should be listed under the dining category
Can
to
you
be
search
visible on the site.
Can you put in just Callie, Callie?
But I think what you're asking is,
Okay, so they're listed there with the farmer's market.
if they're doing articles that are beautiful, could
Yeah.
they be shared through us? And the
Yes.
answer is yes, perhaps maybe they could. We
Okay.
do allow guest writers and opportunities. We have a system in place where people can write blogs, and again, that's listed on vatc.org. And Patricia Keppel, again, is the blog expert, and she could speak further to that question. But there are opportunities for folks to write blogs and share content.
Great. All right, anybody?
And
What?
also back to that, you guys could take some of those blogs and articles out of the magazine and turn them into itineraries.
Awesome. Okay. And post them on here is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any other questions that you can just unmute or you can put in the chat? All right. Well, I am going to stop the recording. I would like to just say thank you, everybody, for joining us. Particularly thank you to Robin. This was amazing. We're so grateful to have you this morning. I think everybody, got some good information, and I know this is going to make a big difference moving forward. So
Carolyn has a question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Who's got a question?
Carolyn.
Go ahead, Carol. Unmute yourself.
Is there a way to see how many people see your listing?
I think we do have some Google stats. I don't know if it drills down to listing, but it certainly can drill down to communities and that sort of thing. I could certainly ask Tom Kirk, my boss, about that, but certainly there are analytics that can track these things for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Well, oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
wanted to mention to you guys, my email is rmamunis@virginia.org. That's RMAM, like yes ma'am, UNES @virginia.org. I'm right here to help you. No question is too small. If you get digging into your listing and you need help, I can put you on a Zoom call and walk you right through it. I really look forward to seeing some content come through the site, and we're eager to help you increase your presence on virginia.org.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day. This is wonderful, Robin. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stay well.